This week's Torah portion, Pinhas, we are with Rabbi David Cohen Scali from Debdou, Morocco. We've brought his words of wisdom several times in the past. This time we're going to get two for the price of one. We're going to start with Rabbi David, and we're going to complete his words with something fascinating from Rabbi Yitzchak Chai Buchbeza, we brought last week, Chief Rabbi of Libya, born in Tunisian born. Pinhas. Who doesn't know the tale of heroism of Pinhas? After last week, Balak and Bilam try to curse us, don't succeed, and we are blessed. They bring on the Midianite women, and this is too much for us. We fail, we start sleeping with the Midianites, idolatry. God is furious, he wants to annihilate the Jewish people over what's going on last week and this week. Until comes Pinhas last week, takes a spear right through the two of them, through the president and the Midianite, whose names we shall not mention. And I'm not even going to go into, you should go look at the Gemara and the Maharsha, Rabbi David says, and the Midrash, or Yonatan ben Uziel. What are the 12 miracles that happened to Pinhas? Right? Pinhas went into the middle of the worst place you could be in the camp of the Israelites, where the presidents, they've got bodyguards, they're all, stooping the Midianites. He's going into a death trap, taking a spear. He doesn't fear for his life. There are miracles that happen to him where the spear goes into both of them. He's then able to pick them both up in such a way that you can see that the spear goes through their genitalia to see that he caught them in the act, and therefore he did something that was permissible, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through the miracles, but it's wild. In any event, Rabbi David looks at the Midrash, which tells us, as a result of what he did, Pinhas calms down God's wrath, and God gives him his covenant of peace, Brit HaShalom. Midrash tells us, Bedinhu, it is just that he should get his reward. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole Midrash here, but Rabbi David, who we've noticed in the past, notices words that seem, what do I need this word for? And he says, I can understand the word badin. It should have said, it is just, badin, shitol tzcho. It is just that he should receive his reward. Why say badin hu, the it? Why do I need it? In Hebrew, you don't. He says, because hu is the numeric value of 12, the 12 tribes. It is to teach you, we're going to understand now what the prize, the covenant of peace that Pinhas got. It is to teach you that just as Pinhas saved the 12 tribes, the people of Israel, from complete annihilation, as a result of his action of heroism, we are going to live forever until redemption. So too, this covenant of peace God gives him is that he will live forever. And therefore, he is also Elijah. Now, what does that mean? He is Elijah. Kabbalists teach us, the Zohar and other medieval Kabbalists, that Elijah is the reincarnated soul of Pinhas. That's a way of understanding, what this comes to teach us. Not that he really lived on from Pinhas to becoming Elijah with a different ID or social security number, but rather that it's the reincarnated soul, and that's what we mean by he became him. But I don't think that's what Rabbi David Cohen Scali means, and for this we're going to go to Rabbi Yitzchak Chai Buchbeza. Rabbi Yitzchak Chai Buchbeza, under the name Pinhas, tells us, he gives us the sort of behind the scenes what happened after Pinhas' act of heroism, right? This is a real hero. After he does what he does, he becomes a loner in the desert. He goes and does hitbodedut, right? This is what Hasidim, Kabbalists do. You become a loner in the desert, and you start, combining letters and studying Torah, Kabbalah, and he's outside of the public eye for tens, hundreds, thousands of years until the time of King David. Comes the prophet Achiyah Shiloni, in brackets, who is Achiyah Shiloni? According to the Kabbalistic or Hasidic tradition, he is the prophet who teaches the Baal Shem Tov, Kabbalah, and other stuff. In any event, in the time of Achiyah Shiloni, Elijah reveals himself. And Rabbi Yitzchak Chai Buchbeza tells us, what does that mean, Elijah revealed himself? It was Pinhas. Pinhas, who was in the desert as a loner, studying Kabbalah, doing what he had to do, felt this was the right time to come out, and he presented himself as Elijah, looking very different. No one knew that Elijah was Pinhas actually, really, except for Anshei Sod, Kabbalists and prophets. And so according to this interpretation, Pinhas literally lived on forever until he became Elijah. And as we know, Elijah then did not die, because then he is taken up to the sky to be with God. And as a result, I think what Rabbi David Cohen Scali is saying, with the help of Yitzchak Chai Buchbeza, that just as Pinhas saved the Israelites from complete annihilation, his reward is that he shall never die, body and soul. And so Pinhas actually lives on to become Elijah, who then goes up to God. And we know the special place that Elijah has in the history, spiritual and physical, of the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom from Rabbi Yitzchak Chai Buchbeza and from Rabbi David Cohen Scali of Debdou. Shabbat Shalom.